Welcome to the Spy-Fi Guys, where we cover spy facts, spy fiction, and everything in between. I'm Christian.
And I'm Zach.
And today we have a special podcast to celebrate Global James Bond Day, October 5th, the day that Dr. No was first released in theaters. And this year in particular is the 60th anniversary of James Bond. And actually, on top of that, this will be our 100th episode released, including all microdots and special episodes. So yeah, 100 episodes, guys.
Wow, that is very special. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So on this podcast, we will be choosing characters from across time and space to create the ultimate James Bond film. Our participants are limited only by their imaginations and one universal rule. Once a character has been picked by another person, no one else can choose him or her. And at the end, it's your votes who decide who wins. So throw on your tuxedos and shake or stir those martinis, because this is the Global James Bond Day Draft.
Yes, for those of you who've been listening for a while, we did one in 2021 as well. And this time we have 3 guest stars.
Yes, and to switch it up this time, Zach and I will both be participants, and our moderator and other participants will be guests from other episodes. So first we have Carolyn, who most recently appeared on our episode covering Chuck.
Hello.
Next up, we've got our Tom Clancy fanboy and 007 fan, Lance, who you just heard on our Jack Ryan episode.
And don't forget, reigning James Bond draft champion.
Oh, that's right, you did win last year.
Yeah,
Yes,
defending champion.
Defending, yes.
That was for you, Zach.
Pressure's on, Lance.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And finally, we have Alanna from Tuesday Night Gaming, who appeared way back on our Spy Kids episode.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that invite for Spy Kids 2 and 3D and whatever.
You really want to cover all the time in the world? That one, I've seen all of them, and
At least the second one.
okay, the second, yeah, I'll give you that. Anyways, let me turn it over to Carolyn to lead us as our moderator.
Okay, thank you all. It is time to get started with the draft. For those of you who have watched any of our fantasy draft from Awesome Cons virtual cons a few years ago, or listened to our Global James Bond Day draft last year, this should sound familiar. Once again, our participants' objective is to draft their ultimate James Bond film with the roles of James Bond, Bond woman, Bond villain, and henchman. This time, their choices for those roles must be characters, either fictional or real life, from movies and TV which have been covered on the Spy-Fi Guys. As a few James Bond movies have been covered on the podcast, you may choose characters from them. However, you can not use them in the role that they play in that film. For example, you could pick Q from No Time to Die as your James Bond. You could not, however, pick Dr. No as your Bond villain. Once a panelist has picked a character, they will briefly explain why their pick is an excellent choice, and the others will, again briefly, explain all of the drawbacks with the pick. Once all the panelists have drafted, we will go back through the line in reverse order. So the last place panelist will draft twice in a row. This is called the corner. So is everyone ready to get started?
Yep.
All right, perfect. As your moderator, I have placed our panelists in a random order. And that order is going to be Zach, Christian, Lance, and Alanna.
All right.
I'm at the top.
Uh-huh.
Back to back.
Interesting.
I know, right?
I have theories on
All
where
right.
Zach is going with this.
I'm afraid to
All
have
right.
theories.
I cannot be theorized. Okay, so that being said, although I try not to be predictable, I think this first pick is a very obvious one for me.
All right.
I'm going to start with my villain. So when picking a villain, I had a little trouble with this. So I went back and I thought about the most recent James Bond movie, No Time to Die, and its opening, which, as you may recall, showed Britannia the woman, a statue of her like falling apart, like the shield collapsing, sign of changing times that Britain is not what it was. So it got me thinking, who is a man who took on the British Empire at the height of its power and defeated them in his own hometown? The answer, of course, is Gandhi, but we haven't covered a movie with Gandhi in it. So I couldn't pick him. So then I was like, there is a man who took on the British right next door to them, he could not be stopped.
Oh,
The British used
no.
everything they could to beat him, but they couldn't. The only people who could defeat him was his own people, and that is why my James Bond villain is Michael Collins, played by Liam Neeson.
I'm sure the people of Ireland will take great issue in you casting him as a villain.
Well, that's another reason why he's a great villain, because he's so sympathetic. You understand where he's coming from, and you don't even really want James Bond to beat him.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
it would be nice if a James Bond villain actually had a complicated kind of thing going on. You know,
What
as
do you
opposed to whatever the villain in No Time to Die actually wanted to do.
Yeah, all right, fair enough on that, Lana.
So that was your James Bond villain?
Yes.
All right. Any other comments on that choice?
I mean, fair play to you. He did run an intelligence network against the Brits. But here's a question for you, though. What era? Do you have a specific era in mind of when this was taking place for you? Is this James Bond in World War One? Or is this
When was Michael Collins alive?
World War
Why
One era?
don't you wait and see what my
All
other
right.
picks are?
All right,
And I will
I'm
tell
very
you.
curious.
Let's
Okay.
find out. All right. Well, let's move on to Christian then.
You know what? I might as well pick this before anyone else does. So, James Bond. I was like, I could have picked any number of, your prototypical main character spy roles, your Ethan Hunts, your Jack Ryan, your man from Uncle's, any of those as your Bond, your James Bond. But I was like, that seems too obvious. So what do I want from James Bond? Someone smooth, debonair, looks really good in a three-piece suit, but also has an edge of brutality to him. And I started thinking back through all our movies, like, what have we covered? Where is there someone who, could be a good James Bond? And started thinking, all right, let's think period appropriate. 60s. Oh, all right, we've covered a movie in the 60s where there's someone wearing a really good suit who has, he's got a slight edge to him. Well, more than a slight edge. He's got an edge to him. And that, of course, would be Eric Lenscher, Magneto from X-Men First Class.
Ooh. I thought you were going to pick someone played by Tom Cruise.
You scared me there
That
for a
would be
minute.
the obvious choice. But I'm like, no. I'm gonna do something different.
I don't think of Magneto as a playboy. Typically,
Maybe not.
Have you met his fangirls?
no. Just the nerds wearing the Magneto was right T-shirt.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, you do see him pretty much seducing what's her name, Mystique there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I went to see the real Mystique.
So does this James Bond have superpowers?
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be a twist.
Well, I do appreciate our first Jewish James Bond. That's very nice.
That's true. Yeah.
Unless they retconned that in the First Class era.
In the first, no, he's very much in Auschwitz. So in the opening,
there's a few reasons someone could be in Auschwitz that don't have to be
true.
Jewish.
That's very true. You're right. Good point.
Magneto was a communist.
That would be a twist.
But he was a pure communist. He wasn't like a Marxist or Leninist communist.
All right. Well, let's move on to Lance. Lance, what's your first pick?
Well, I was going to go with the henchman first, but Christian scared the little bejesus out of me with his Bond pick because I was like, oh, God, he's going to pick mine. He's going to pick mine. Because I didn't want to go with my obvious, and I'm quite sure, game-winning choice last time of John Krasinski as Jack Ryan being my James Bond. So wanted to mix it up a little bit, but my thought process was similar to Christian's. Looks good in a three-piece suit, definite badass. But I'm going to take one better. He could unite the James Bond fans with nerd fans of the world.
Oh, boy.
And he was, obviously one of the better spy remakes of a 60s TV show. So my character for James Bond is actually going to be Napoleon Solo, played by none other than Henry Cavill.
The new Napoleon Solo.
Yes.
For the win. Yes.
All right.
Isn't he basically James Bond already?
Kind of.
Maybe.
That's why it's a little too obvious.
That's why I'm picking him now for James Bond while I still can.
Well, you definitely got the Cavill Bond shippers on your. They'll vote for you.
Yeah, you got my vote, Lance.
I'm already winning 1-0. Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, we are supposed to criticize each other's picks, right? I just
Yep.
agree with Christian that it's just a little too obvious.
Right.
But maybe obvious isn't always bad.
Sometimes the best things hide in plain sight. Napoleon Solo hiding in.
Also, like, what kind of name is Napoleon Solo anyway? Clearly made up.
I mean, well, technically, he was an American character.
That's true.
Well, I mean,
Cavill-
come on. Yeah, we're not sticking to that.
I mean, how often does Cavill actually get to play a Brit?
Like, never.
He
Only
does.
when he's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty much it.
He's not even the main character.
Yes, or when he's in 2005's I Captured the Castle, which I just watched last week.
Wow. Did you just make that up?
No one else.
No.
No one else in the world has probably
Tiny,
seen that
tiny
movie.
Henry Cavill.
He's like 19 in it. It's
So
great.
I'm trying to remember if it's before or after he was in The Count of Monte Cristo, where he was also tiny, tiny Cavill.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he was a
If you're a
real
Henry Cavill fan.
jerk in that
Recommend.
one too.
Cute.
All right, perfect. Well, let's move on then. Alanna, let us go to you.
All right. Back-to-back picks. I was trying to decide if I want to do villains first or heroes first. I can't decide. I think I'll do suspense. All right, so let's do the villain first. You know me, I like to think outside the box. So my villain is the Red October. The submarine from the Hunt for Red October. Not the guy driving it, the submarine itself. A Typhoon-class ballistic submarine with a Caterpillar drive running undetectable to passive sonar. It lurks underground, trying to defeat its enemies, pulling the strings from underwater.
I'm not gonna lie, this may be my favorite choice of all time.
Is it in your interpretation of this? Is it sentient?
Yeah, this is like Cars. Okay.
Got a face.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That makes it even
You
better.
know, now I'm kind of regretting we haven't covered Cars yet. Because then I could throw in one of those.
Cars 2 is a legendarily
2.
terrible movie. Yeah, but
Hey,
it's a
you know what?
movie.
I do have a soft spot for it, and I can't wait till we cover it because
You should make Alanna come back for that, since this was
Wait,
her idea.
why is Cars 2 a spy movie?
it's a spy movie.
Is this like how Paddington 1 is a spy movie? Because it is.
That I don't agree with.
It's
And
like
I've watched
corporate
Paddington
espionage.
1.
What about the whole part where they're like rappelling into the castle?
There may be spy action in it, but it's not a spy movie.
Okay, fine.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, we're getting off topic here.
Okay. So Henchman, of course, is the Japanese battleship Yamato from Tora Tora Tora.
Yeah.
I thought you would have them reverse. I thought the battleship would be the big bad.
No, see, well, you said that had to be not the roles, right? So is the battleship like kind of the main villain in Pearl Harbor / Tora Tora Tora? Maybe.
No.
Yes.
The planes are.
Oh, the planes are. Well, it could be. Well, no, because you'll also see with my other picks why the henchman is the Yamato.
All right.
But it's also it's the above ground arm because like the Red October underwater being sneaky is like
Right.
makes more sense to me as the villain. The guy go find him, whereas the
Right.
Yamato's just in your face throwing your hat. You like odd job,
Right.
you know.
That makes total sense when you put it that way.
Totally, obviously,
Interesting.
you know.
All right.
I quit. This team is already unstoppable. I'm done.
Oh man.
Lance, you're the champion. You can't just give up.
Oh yes, I can. I can abdicate my throne.
You go. Pass over the trophy.
You got 3 picks left. Go up with something good.
Okay, Lance, you're up again.
Well, I'm definitely not doing henchman next. That's for sure. All right, so I guess we haven't done this one yet, so I'll go ahead and pick my female lead for our Bond movie. This one was kind of difficult. There's lots of good choices, but I also kind of wanted to stick with my action and nerd universes uniting. So I went with Melinda May, as played by Ming-Na Wen from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Good choice.
All
Yeah,
right.
she's-
For
right.
all
Great.
kinds of obvious reasons. She's smart, she's tough, she's badass, she's gorgeous. I mean, check,
Bringing
check,
in the cavalry.
double check. So if there's anybody that can compete with Yamamoto,
Yeah. Melinda May, the cavalry.
Yeah.
It is a good choice. I can't really argue against it.
She was on my short list.
Good choice. Yeah, so how many total characters do you think you guys have to draw from?
A lot. There's 100 episodes.
With your 100
Yeah.
episodes, yeah.
I got a lot of backups.
There
Just
were
in
enough.
That's pretty
All
good.
right. Oh, is that on to me
Okay,
now?
perfect. Yeah, now
Yep.
we're on to Christian again. Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to do this. All right, so I'm gonna go with my villain next. So I figured, all right, we're gonna go with a Cold War era, not necessarily 60s, but Cold War. So I started thinking about, all right, what kind of Bond villain would be interesting to see, Magneto go up against? Wouldn't be I don't want it to have an obvious, all right, we'll take over the world plot. I wanted someone who was more down to earth. We have such a out there, James Bond already. So someone more down to earth. So I said, all right, who's a real life person I could use? Let me think about this. Cold War. Who's someone? What about the person who probably had the biggest leak of information to the Soviets from the FBI?
Mhm.
What about Robert Hansen?
See, that was my number 2 choice.
So, yeah, my villain will be Robert Hansen from Breach, as played by Chris Cooper.
I always liked there was real life, guys. You know me. I wanted to see the part where he tells James Bond he's going to make him piss purple.
It's a pretty scary one.
Certainly very memorable.
But we're going to have Eric O'Neill in there as well.
He could make a cameo.
He could be the guy who dies in the opening credits.
Ooh, interesting. I like that.
It's like an alternative timeline where he figures it out. You move my Palm Pilot, blam, blam, blam. Or wait, you move my Palm Pilot and throws him into a shark cage.
Okay, and then let's move back to Zach.
I'm going to pick my Bond next. This Bond choice will set the tone for the whole movie. I feel like I have found the perfect Bond because he is adaptable. He is a war veteran. Men love him. Women love him. He charms the hearts of everyone he meets, including his superiors. He saves people's lives. He defeats enemy spies. He has a very particular ability that most people do not have.
Wait.
He looks good in a very distinctive clothing. I'm referring, of course, to Sergeant Stubby of the movie Sergeant Stubby, an American hero.
Oh my.
Yes.
Sergeant Stubby!
Unexpected.
When you said a very particular set of skills, I thought you were going to have Liam Neeson's from Taken, so you have Neeson v. Neeson.
That is.
Oh.
Dang! An all Neeson draft.
Or I could have a Neeson be a henchman, and that's two Neesons versus
yeah.
James Bond.
Qui-Gon
There we
Jinn.
go.
Oh, yeah.
But now we got Sergeant Stubby.
But yeah, so my James Bond movie is a movie where the hero is a dog.
Aw. When is this coming out? I'm ready.
And I would like you to imagine in your head Sergeant Stubby wearing a tuxedo.
Oh, that's cute. That's
Oh, I
so
already
cute.
can. I already did. I'm not
Yep.
going to lie about that.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
With his tuxedo and doing a little salute.
And now it's back to me, unless anyone has any thoughts.
Look, usually, Zach, I criticize your choices a lot.
Can he speak English?
He doesn't talk.
How-
I can't do that this time. I can't do that.
I mean, he already does know his way around Paris.
Yeah, he served overseas.
Does he have a passport?
Yeah. He's got the qualifications.
All right, so now I'm going to do my Bond girl. There's a few good possibilities here, but I thought for a movie where the hero is a dog, who else are you going to pair with a dog than a kid? So my Bond girl is Harriet the Spy.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
She understands him, she speaks for him, she investigates, he comes along, and they are the perfect duo to defeat Michael Collins.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this movie. I gotta say.
All right.
I have so many conflicting thoughts about that.
Because Stubby and Michael Collins are around the same time period.
Michael Collins was alive for the Easter Uprising, alive and
Yeah.
active for the Easter Uprising, which was during World War I.
I'm
So
enjoying
just-
how different these movies are turning out to be.
Try to be
These are
unexpected.
all
Yeah.
their own genres. So these are excellent.
All right. Back to
Okay,
me.
so shall we go back to Christian? Yep.
All right. So for my henchmen, I figured I needed to get someone who can make up for let's say deficiencies in Robert Hansen in terms of what he is, and I had two ways to go about this, and I'm still which way. Actually, I think it'll be fun. All right, so he is yes he's good at stealing intelligence, but he needs someone to be out there actually doing stuff for him. He needs someone who could be a courier for him, who can get out of weird situations. What he needs. He needs the gringo who always delivers. He needs Barry Seal, as played by Tom Cruise from American Made.
I figured Tom Cruise would show up sooner or later.
I couldn't have as the main characters. Like, as a henchman, I think it would be hilarious to have Tom Cruise as a side character, as a henchman. He is able to get anything that Robert Hansen needs by anything by just being able to fly and get things for him, drop off,
So he's
make
got
drops.
his airplane.
Yep, he's got his airplane.
Okay.
He's got his big airplane, his which currently is now in Costa Rica, which we saw the inside of, which was pretty cool. Pre him being gunned down by the Medellin cartel.
He's not exactly a physical threat to Magneto, is he?
No, but how many? I mean, he's more of a comical sidekick kind of deal.
Oh, he's like Otis from Superman.
Yeah, a little bit. He's there, and also so it also provides a little levity into the film because Robert Hansen is definitely serious, and so he's a good counterpart. Yeah.
How are they going to do against Magneto's superpowers?
Well,
you're gonna have to watch the movie and see. That's what I always say.
Yeah. The way I'm in my mind, he has them, but he doesn't like to show them off a lot. So they're not well known. So he might use them in very subtle ways. Be it, if he's throwing a knife, he can use his powers to make it go extra straight right into where he wants it. But it's not obvious to your average person. It's why he seems like he can do anything as James Bond.
A meta-textual explanation.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Different. Like it.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Should we move on to Lance?
I'm going to go ahead and keep going down the order. I'm going to go for villain next. Wanted to do something a little different, mix it up a little bit. And while I think with my first two picks, I was doing my best to unite two different fandoms, my next one's probably going to really piss off the main fandom.
All right.
Because I wanted to find someone who was tough, intriguing, mysterious, strong leadership qualities, ruthless though, but at times can show a little bit of sense of compassion, kind of like with what Zach was talking about earlier. And this was tough for me. This was really tough for me, but I think it's the best choice. And I'm using a kink to the rules. My villain is M, played by Judi Dench.
Yeah, she's basically a villain anyway. Always telling James Bond what to do.
Hold on. Have we covered a movie with Judi Dench?
Yeah, we covered No Time to Die. Oh, wait,
no,
she wasn't
not in
that. She said that was Ralph Fiennes. Rafe Fiennes, whatever you pronounce it.
Sorry, Lance. Yeah, I don't think we've covered one with M. Not M as Judi Dench, M as other people.
Wait, hold on.
We've got Robert Brown.
Yeah.
We've had
Hold on.
what's his face? Original M.
I'll do
Bernard
this
Lee. We've had every M besides him. Or her, rather.
The technicality.
Oh, that was the wrong Casino
It was
Royale.
Judi Dench was in the Avengers, right? That was what's her
That was
face?
Fiona
Alana
Shaw.
Tyrell.
Oh no, that is
Oh, Diana Rigg.
Yeah,
Diana
Rigg. She's close enough when she's older.
No, we have not covered a movie where old Diana Rigg is in it. Just young. You have young Diana Rigg as
Diana Rigg.
Right?
Yeah.
She'd be a good choice too.
Do it. Hold on. I'm double checking. Going through all of them.
Fact checking.
You
Wait,
indexing the
I got
episode.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yep. No, that was Casino Royale 1967. We covered, not 2000.
Could I use a complete technicality and say that she was part of the original James Bond draft?
No, that's
Damn it.
It's
Okay.
just me from a movie or TV show that we've done.
Yeah.
But they didn't cover
Oh,
the
sure, last
movie
thing
in the
is
draft. You know,
No.
it's not the same thing.
You're not
Nice
helping,
try,
Alanna.
though.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to need time to repair that one, so we'll go ahead and switch to villain then if I can.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so back to uniting two fandoms again, except first we were doing action and nerdiness. Now we're going to go action and comedy. Somebody who would have been a great counter to M's Judi Dench, I think. Definitely a right-hand person, always dependable, gets the job done, but also has a bit of a humorous streak to him to bring some levity. So my henchman is going to be none other than Top Secret's Chocolate Mousse, played by Eddie To Go.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Wait,
Chocolate
what?
Mousse.
Huh?
Chocolate Mousse.
One of the French resistance fighters in Top Secret.
Oh!
Oh.
Wow, I forgot about that. All right.
He's always there. He's dependable. Somehow he can pull a Gatling machine gun out of a backpack.
That's right.
He's just everywhere you need a henchman to be. And he's European. He's got a great French accent.
I mean, that's an absurd enough name to fit in a James Bond movie.
Moose.
Exactly.
Okay.
Chocolate mousse.
Good, yeah, that's a good choice, Lance. Only the
Thank
Top Secret reference.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right. I don't think did I watch that one version? I think I saw it.
Yes.
Is it the one with Val Kilmer where he sings like Elvis? You'd remember it, I think.
No, maybe not. Huh, well, we should.
Not to mention it, Top Secret has probably what, in the wrong hands, could be used as the most improper, not safe for work torture device.
Oh.
Christian got it.
Yeah. We will leave that to all of our fans of Top Secret out there, and they can figure it out.
Yes, you'll have to listen to
Google.com.
that episode to find out more. Perfect. All right, excellent choice. So then let's move on to Alanna.
All right. For our Bond girl and our Bond that go with our villains, the Red October and the Yamato. So for Bond girl, we have the USS Nevada from Pearl Harbor. Heroically tries to escape the bay to let the other ships out, is damaged, but revitalized and fights in the war. Has history with the Yamato, motivation to take her down. Also, ships are women, obviously.
All right.
Obviously.
Obviously. Clearly.
Wasn't there some Bond movie where the Bond girl had like a score to settle with the villain? There's probably more than one.
Multiple.
More than one. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Quantum of Solace was probably
The
the
proud
most
tradition.
recent one.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, License to Kill, I think.
Also that, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Living Daylights.
All right, let's list them all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
USS Nevada.
Another battleship. Interesting.
Yeah, two battleships. All right. No, we can move on. All right, let's just do Bond. All right, so who would team up with the Nevada to find the Red October? The Nevada is not equipped to find it. We need an advanced spy plane with all the bells and whistles, with style, with flair that can hold a lot of people. None other than the bus from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
It even has a car inside of it that's like a James Bond car.
All right.
And it can turn invisible.
Good choice.
I thought you were going to do another ship because the other three are ships.
Yeah, well, it's like underwater, midwater, air. You know, you get a spectrum.
All right.
Yeah.
Has
They're
it
all
gone
naval.
underwater? I feel like it could go underwater or on the water.
The bus?
I don't.
I'm sure.
Not
The
sure I
the
could think
car
of.
can, I think, but I don't know about the bus itself.
So, Alanna, what does the last shot of your movie look like?
like the Nevada and the bus like cruising together.
Not
Yeah.
like them like making out somehow.
Ew, gross.
Well, that's how James Bond movies traditionally end.
It's not how No Time to Die ended.
Oh, that's too soon.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
I guess it was Time to Die.
Ouch.
just got cold really
That was
quick,
ice cold, like the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Right, where the Red October hangs out.
and the Yamada ends up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Also
Well,
too soon.
enjoy this all vehicle that Alanna's got here. I think it's beautiful.
The greatest movie that'll never be made.
I don't know. You could start pitching it. Someone might take you up on that. I can see it.
I would definitely watch it twice.
All right. Well, with Alanna's picks in, let's move back to Lance. See if he's thought of a new Bond villain.
Okay, so I had to come up with a new one, obviously, because I can't read years very well.
Mhm.
But again, I wanted to still stick with somebody who was strong, independent, somebody that could definitely give Napoleon Solo Bond a run for his money. Maybe not necessarily the head of an organization, kind of like how most Bond villains weren't. They didn't run Spectre; they were still agents of Spectre, though. And also, a movie that you've covered that helped. So I am going to go with Samantha Cain, played by Gina Davis from The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Excellent choice.
Ooh, that's a good call.
I think you mean Charlie Friday or whatever her real name
Yes.
is.
Well, see, that was her other name. So she's got that whole alias thing going on. Is she this? Is she that? Is she the brunette? Is she the blonde? Is she the mom down the street that no one suspects as being a super master criminal, but yet she is?
Is this for the henchman or the Bond
right.
girl? Sorry.
No, this is for villain.
The main villain.
This
Oh,
is
okay.
villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I think her name is Charlie Friday. It's something equally absurd, right?
Charlie
Baltimore.
Baltimore. You're right, Alanna.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good choice. She's very scary.
Yeah.
If she scared Samuel L. Jackson, you know she's scary.
Well, yeah, she can go from sexy to innocent to scary with the drop of a dime. So that's why I think
one look.
she's.
All right,
right.
Christian, back to you.
All right. So for my last choice for categories that we know about, I have my female lead, my Bond woman. And so I thought about this. All right. So we've got Robert Hansen. His main, he basically invented cyber espionage. So we need someone, and our Magneto, our James Bond, he can manipulate, metal but he can't. He doesn't necessarily know how to hack. So we need someone who is good at tech, and maybe it would help if they're a fellow MI6 agent who is very, very capable. But maybe she's, I want there be some friction between them. So maybe she's more used to working with a team rather than just one person. So I have picked Khadija Adiyemi from the 355, as played by Lupita Nyong'o.
Ah.
Ooh.
The 355. I remember that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that movie. I thought Lupita Nyong'o did a great job there. She's, it's kind of combination, Q and Bond girl for this. And so she can help out, Magneto with all of the tech stuff. I think they're almost age appropriate that I could see a romance happening.
It helps that she's British, too. You have at least one British person in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so it's the Brits versus the Americans, basically.
Yeah.
All right, should we head back to Zach for the finishing up?
Sergeant Stubby and Harriet are running all over Ireland, causing general mayhem. Even Michael Collins can't stop them. All of his tricks, he's helpless. So he thinks to himself, I need to get that dog. And who else are you going to use to defeat an animal than another animal? And that is why my henchman is Lance Sterling as a pigeon from Spies in Disguise.
Yeah, that's good.
I almost could have won money on that one.
I imagine when they fight, it turns into a ball of dust, and then little legs stick out. That's what the fights look like.
I considered him as my Bond for a hot second.
As a pigeon or not as a pigeon?
Both.
Right.
It's both. He's able to control it. Yeah. It's all right.
All right. I'm seeing the vision here.
I got this on lockdown.
Okay, so everyone has drafted 4 times, so it's time for the bonus round. I thought of this bonus round before the picks happened, so I'm curious on how this is going to go exactly. So bonus round, what I was thinking was I want to hear your choice for, and you can choose either animal sidekick or evil villain pet.
Uh-huh.
All right. Wait. Does this have to be from a movie we've covered, or just in general, like any kind of?
I think in general, but it can be. It would be good if it was from your pick, from your Rolodex too.
Yeah, because I think I used all the animals that we've done in movies.
Zach's already got them figured out. So yeah, I would say just in general. It could be even just a general animal or a specific animal.
So not from a Spy Fi Guys covered thing, or like in general?
It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
I mean, bonus points if you can make it.
But somebody that would fit into your film.
I have one. So this may be kind of avoiding the spirit of the question, Carolyn, so I apologize for that.
All right. Well, you already got 2 animals, so.
So Sergeant Stubby is not, in fact, the most decorated dog in U.S. military history. He is the most decorated dog of World War I. The most decorated dog of World War II was a dog named Chips. So, at the end of my movie, Chips will appear as a tiny little puppy that gets taken under Sergeant Stubby's wing to learn how to become the next James Bond.
Oh, that's pretty cute, though.
Oh, man.
All right, I have an idea, but I need Carolyn to allow it.
Okay, are we going in the same order? Or
oh yeah, or what's the order?
Oh yeah. So is it me back to me?
Back to Christian.
I mean, if people need time to think, like, you know,
sure.
we could go out of order.
Do you have one, Christian, or?
I think I've got one. My James Bond is our Magneto is going to have an animal sidekick rather than the villain having a sidekick, and it's going to be someone a survivor like him, someone who's had to live through treachery, and it's going to be someone who survived a really big event. It's the dog from Pearl Harbor who survived from the ship. We see him, and then we see him at the very end swing back onto a boat because he's alive.
Aww.
He made it.
We haven't talked this much about Pearl Harbor since Pearl Harbor.
Here we go. We got the USS Nevada, the dog from Pearl Harbor.
I do kind of remember that dog, though.
All right, perfect. Lance, do you have one, or do you want us to come back to you?
I'm kind of curious at what Alanna needs clarification for, so I will default to Alanna.
Well, I mean, my draft picks are not people, so how strict are we being on this animal? Can I just pick like a sidekick type that we can like anthropomorphize as an animal?
I would say sure.
Okay, great, because I don't know. I was like trying to think of like an evil like sea creature.
As long as it's a cute boat.
Cute plane.
Cute plane.
Cute plane. 2 children can fit inside of it. It's the RX Express from Spy Kids.
Oh, it's just a small plane.
Yeah, created by Machete himself.
Okay, and what would this so would this be the animal sidekick, not the villain?
Yeah, this would be like the villain's animal sidekick.
Oh, the villain side.
Oh, wait, the villain. Wait, did we say it was a hero or the villain?
It could be either.
I guess it makes more sense as the heroes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay, the heroes. Sorry, I thought it had to be the villain sidekick, and I was like, fine with that. But yeah, it makes more sense this way. Oh, what a cute plane!
With the bus.
I just looked it up on Bing Images. Yeah, I don't know. My computer's set to Bing. I need to fix it.
Get those rewards.
Are you also using a Microsoft Zoom?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Now let's go to Lance.
I'm trying to Google just to see if there was. I think I found my answer that there were German Shepherds in the movie Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Huh.
At
Really?
least in the part where they're getting executed, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm going to use the evil Nazi German shepherds as my villainous animal
Ooh,
sidekick.
Oh dear.
Wow.
I mean, 'cause-
beautiful German Shepherd. Do they get stroked on the head?
oh yeah, and by Gina Davis.
Oh,
Okay.
that's really
Perfect.
scary.
You know what? All right. That's actually, yeah.
I mean,
all
it's
right.
both hot and terrifying all at the same time, as it should be.
As any good movie would make it be.
Yes, and Valkyrie obviously was covered by, so I got that going for me.
It was. It was one of our early
Yeah.
ones.
All right. I like it. Can I ask you guys to go around and just give me like a 10-second like summary of your movie, just to kind of recap, or 30 seconds, whatever, however short you can be.
Sure.
Because
All
now
right. Who wants
I
to go
need to know
first?
how this all kind of fits together. Now that we got the whole thing going on. So we can go in any order. Or Zach, do you want to? Go
Yeah,
for it.
sure. So my bond is Sergeant Stubby in a tuxedo, teaming up with Harriet the Spy to take on Michael Collins and his sidekick / henchman, Lance Sterling, as a pigeon.
And the animal sidekick.
And then at the end, Chips makes an appearance as a tiny little puppy.
Aw.
For the next generation.
All right.
That's right.
James Bond, the next generation.
James Bond Jr., you might say.
Oh.
Okay.
No one can stop him, but Scum always tries.
All right.
Anyways.
Christian, what's your movie?
All right. So we have our James Bond, played by Magneto from X-Men First Class, who is told has to stop the biggest breach of information going to the Soviet Union, which is he discovers is caused by Robert Hansen. And knowing his ineptitude at hacking and anything computer related, he decides he needs a fellow MI6 agent to help him out, who is Khadija from the 355. And they go after him, and they encounter Barry Seal, who is working with Robert Hansen, who tries to stop them, but they easily overcome him because he's not very
That's true.
physical. But and he gives up the information that leads him right to Hansen. But unfortunately, Robert Hansen knows they're coming. He quickly causes a trap for him, which gets Khadija captured, and Magneto goes home. He spends one night brooding with his pet dog, who he's named Arizona because it survived the sinking of the Arizona. And his dog, very, nuzzles up to him saying, "No, you can do this. You can go rescue the girl and defeat the villain." So he goes back and unveils the full might of his mutant powers and uses it to defeat Robert Hansen. Escapes with Khadija, who plays a role in going up against Barry Seal because he decided, I should probably try to help my boss out again, but gets quickly defeated by Khadija.
I like the softer side of Magneto.
Hanging out with his dog, getting inspiration.
Yeah, I needed to work the dog in there somewhere.
All right, Lance.
What we have is your typical threat to world stabilization. There have been assassinations of NATO leaders, espionage at different military bases throughout the UK, US, Germany, so on and so forth. And the only suspect that we see is this rather large Frenchman named Chocolate Mousse. So obviously, MI6 has to get involved, and they send their most dashing three-piece suit wearing, dare I say, panty dropping or underwear dropping even Napoleon Solo. And because it's a multinational type thing, obviously he has to link up with somebody from the CIA, which we know from No Time to Die in previous Bond movies was always Felix Leiter. Well, we are now introducing Felicity Leiter, played by Ming-Na Wen. So she's got that character going on. Um, and then we have this whole chase evasion thing going on. They're trying to track down Chocolate Mousse. Occasionally, we see one of Bond's neighbors from down the street, the very attractive Gina Davis, or as we know her there as Samantha Kane. But later, we find out when Chocolate Mousse's German shepherds run up to her like they're going to attack her and rip her apart. They stop and they start licking her hand, and then we realize, oh my God, this is actually Charlie Baltimore, the evil mastermind behind all of these different things. And then so you have this fantastic fight between Gina Davis and Ming-Na Wen, while Chocolate Mousse and Henry Cavill are going back and forth. Obviously, the good guys win. Chocolate Mousse, we think, is dead, but then later at the very end credits, we have a Marvel type end scene where Chocolate Mousse decides, because he can't die, he is low crawling out from the water because they're fighting on an aircraft carrier, just to kind of go with Alanna's theme.
Nice.
And we find out Chocolate Mousse did not die in Val's revenge.
Yeah, people can't die. This is a James Bond movie.
Oh, wait.
Got to be back for the sequel. Very good, very good. And last but not least, we have Alanna and her
and my fleet. Yes.
fleet. Yep.
All right, so we
Tell us
have
about your movie.
the Bond. James Bond is the bus, and we have the Bond girls, the USS Nevada. We have the henchman of the Japanese battleship Yamato, and the villain is the Red October. And our animal sidekick / cute sidekick, appreciate flexibility, is the RX Express, learning the ropes of being a spy plane from the bus, the bigger, badder spy plane. So we have the Red October threatening New York City with a nuclear attack because it's super advanced nuclear technology. It can't be detected by sonar, but it's still trying to evade, defenses. I don't know. And we have the Yamato just causing interference, drawing attention away from the Red October so we can get in position for its attack. And then the bus and the Nevada are trying to find the Red October, but also defeat the Yamato. And we have the back history between the Nevada and the Yamato from Pearl Harbor, trying to get their revenge from all those years ago. And then, they find them and they torpedo them or something. A big naval battle at the end, of course.
Ooh, like Thunderball.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask, in your universe, do they have like each of the eyes, like at their windshields' eyes, like
I guess
in
so.
cars?
I don't really know how else that would work.
October with eyes.
Yeah, totally.
Wait, can I ask you another bonus question, which is, what celebrity voice would voice?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Idris Elba is the bus. Of course.
Like it.
Michael Cera is the RX Express.
Who was that?
Michael Cera.
Oh, it's
Okay.
RX Express.
Keith David is the go-to bad guy voice.
That's true. But it should be like Russian, right? Because it's the Red October.
At least you didn't say Sean Connery.
Yeah.
You say kind of have to.
Like one of the Skarsgård, Stellan Skarsgård. He can like flex in as the villain.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was thinking it could be just like Herbie, where they just like,
Herbie is good, yeah.
The front of the car just like pops up and down, and that's their way of talking. That would be an interesting movie of just all that.
It's like the Star Wars holiday special, or it's just the ships moving and there's no subtitles.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. All right, anything else?
Nope.
We can wrap that up. Perfect. All right, so there you have it, and we will have a poll up on Twitter. Sorry, and you can vote by visiting. It's a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/Bond Day Draft, all lowercase. So bit.ly/Bond Day Draft. We'll have the polls up for 1 week, so until October 12th. Please vote for your favorite of the Bond films that we have just created here, new and original, never heard before, so that our participants can claim all of the fame, glory, and bragging rights due to them. And before we go, does anyone have any honorable mentions or any alternate picks that they wanted to use but didn't?
One of my other alternate James Bonds was Gregorio Cortez from Spy Kids.
Yeah.
I also had Melinda May as a Bond woman. Lance picked her, so I had to go an alternate route for that. I was thinking about doing Captain Marco Ramius from The Hunt from Red October as my villain, but once Alanna picked the Red October, I was like, no, gotta have to backpedal on that too.
Distance.
Yeah.
I was thinking some other option for henchman was, instead of going sort of the goofy henchman route, I was thinking, all right, what about the threatening henchman route? Someone who's physical, who really physical and really threatening. John Casey from Chuck.
Yeah.
I think he could be a good henchman.
He could, yeah.
He's very
Those are my
henchman-y.
alternates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, when Lance said chocolate mousse, I don't think I've seen that movie, but it made me think of Gaston Baptiste from Sergeant Stubby.
Yeah.
The soldier / chef. And I thought he would be a good henchman too.
My alternate James Bond actually still was not Jack Ryan. I was actually going to go with Chris Evans, Ari Levinson from Dead Sea Diving Resort.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nice choice.
All right.
Yeah, my henchman was going to be Sidney Bristow, played by Jennifer Gardner.
Oh.
Yeah, Lance, I also like the good guys becoming bad guys.
Oh yeah, it makes it more complicated.
Yeah, it makes things real interesting.
And I actually almost picked her as my Bond girl, but Yvonne Strahovski from Chuck.
Yeah.
Yes. Sarah
Yeah.
Walker.
And obviously I had to go with my backup villain because rules.
Right, because you picked one who was not on our list, not someone we
Hashtag
covered.
rules. Hashtag I do what I want.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, Zach, did you have any, or are you going to keep them in your back pocket in case there's a next time?
Okay, no, let's make a gentleman's agreement. Try not to remember these and don't steal them if we do this.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So one of my backups was Junie Cortez.
Wait, as
The
your
James
James Bond?
And then the other major backup for James Bond was George Harrison.
Like the Beetle?
Yeah, do you remember Badass George Harrison?
Oh, we
Help.
covered Help. That's right.
Oh my god.
So you haven't seen, there's a part where he rides on top of a car. It's very, very badass. Bond girl, I thought of Harriet Tubman. Also, Keira Knightley's character from Imitation Game.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember what.
And then Not Cool from Parmano. Yeah.
Oh.
So, and then for my villains, I thought of Alan Turing, also from Imitation Game. Do you remember where I was talking about how he's like the only thing he cares about is the computer, so he like betrays everybody? Do you remember that conversation?
Right, I do remember that
And then
conversation.
a bunch of good guys who turn into bad guys, like Roy Knight from Night and Day.
I am surprised you did not do that one.
Obviously, I got my top pick.
Fair
Hudson
enough.
Hawk, maybe. And then I didn't have a deep bench for henchmen, but I thought of Emma Peel as played by Uma Thurman, the evil clone of her. And then my number two, definitely I would have picked, was Rover from The Prisoner.
You should have picked him. Oh my god.
Unstoppable.
Rover is so scary. You should have picked him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, he doesn't fit a movie where the main character is a dog. I'm sorry.
Yes, he does. He'll just follow the dog forever.
I mean-
How is the dog supposed to defeat him?
How can anyone defeat him?
And the dog is trying to chase the ball and realizes the ball
Right.
is
The
evil.
ball's just gonna suffocate him.
The ball's chasing him.
This is clearly the better choice.
Okay, I had a couple backup planes. They're all planes.
Nice.
Francis Gary Powers U-2 spy plane. But he
Okay.
crashes it,
Alright.
so it's not that useful. The X-Jet,
Mhm.
a classic plane. And then just some, Japanese kamikaze airplanes. Oh, and the Cuban Missile.
Yeah.
One.
One Cuban missile caused a big crisis.
Oh man.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to be pedantic. There were no kamikazes in the movies we covered.
There weren't in Pearl Harbor. They
That's
didn't.
true.
No.
No.
Well,
No,
No?
there were zeros and there was I don't remember the name of the other.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
a technicality flag on this one because actually she's correct. There is no
Okay.
such thing technically as a kamikaze classified aircraft. Kamikaze was the type of mission that it was.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
Sure.
Come on, you guys. Yeah.
in Pearl Harbor, when there were some Japanese aircraft that were damaged beyond repair and whatever, they aimed their aircraft at American targets, therefore turning them into a suicide plane at that point. So
Fair enough. All
Alanna
right.
is correct in her choice.
But did we see any of them in either of the two Pearl Harbor
No,
Oh
movies
yes,
that we
they are
As-
definitely in.
How could they not be in either of those movies?
Ben
Tora
Affleck
Tora Tora was like 4 hours long.
Okay,
They were
fair.
in
It's
both.
Probably in Tora 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 somewhere.
I thought you were gonna pick the movie at the beginning of Pearl Harbor when the two kids are in the little airplane.
Oh, that airplane.
That could have been like the sidekick plane too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Carolyn, for being our
Woohoo!
moderator for
Yay,
this
Carolyn!
fun Global
Yay.
James Bond Day panel.
Thank you.
So, do our guests have anything they want to promote? Lance?
I'm going to go with my usual pet rescue. There are plenty of not just kittens, but especially senior cats and dogs and other animals that are out there. We're just past kitten season, so we just had clear the shelters. But still, there's no time that's bad to go out and rescue an animal.
What's the name of your rescue?
One of the ones I mainly work with is Fancy Cat's Dog and Rescue out of Fairfax County. I have 2 cats from them,
Very good.
Oreo and
Thanks.
Lorelei.
Oh,
Aw.
all right. Speaking of pets, Carolyn, do you want to
Oh,
promote?
sure. I'll promote my own pet. Little pup Daisy has her Instagram, daisy.sky.the.doodle. And I just put a reel where she's wearing a really cute raincoat on there. So you should check that out.
And she is named after an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
She could have been in the draft.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yes, she could be the
ooh.
cute animal sidekick.
We have.
Yeah.
All right, Alanna, do you want to promote anything?
Zach and I's other podcast, Tuesday Night Gaming. It's fun. We're covering Andor and Stargirl at the same time.
Ooh, I didn't know you guys were
Yeah.
doing Andor.
On the same
Nice,
episode?
nice.
Sometimes.
Wow.
And if you're in New York City this weekend, and if you're going to New York Comic Con,
yes.
come out to our cheesy line reading contest panel. That was the weekend that this episode drops.
Saturday.
Yes.
Oh wow! So it'll come out. This releases on Wednesday, October 5th. So this panel is on Saturday, October 8th.
Come on out. It's a good time. Have fun.
Well, thanks again to our guests for joining us. Once again, happy Global James Bond Day. As always, you can find us on social media at the Spy-Fi Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, I'm Christian,
And I'm Zach.
and we are the Spy-Fi Guys signing off.
Thank you for listening to the Spy-Fi Guys. If you enjoyed our podcast, please be sure to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The theme song from this podcast is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Films, books, and television shows reviewed by our podcast are the intellectual property of their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended.
This is a personal podcast. Any views, statements, or opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and belong solely to the participants. They do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the participants may or may not be associated with in a professional or personal capacity unless explicitly stated. Any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual.
You can find our podcast on social media at The Spy-Fi Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.